Welcome to this week's Todd Talks video, and this week I want to talk to you about the shifting in the marketplace. So economic news, there's inflation fears, job losses are going up, and that should bode well for interest rates. We should start to see interest rates to trend down based on that. And ironically, I projected 5% year over year growth. Right now we're at 4%. So even though there's opportunity out there, there's about half of the houses are selling for at or slightly above list price. The other half you're able to negotiate. So I want to go over a buyer's market, a seller's market, and a balanced market because we're really close to a balanced market. So let me show you how all this works. Okay, so on this chart, you can see the gray is neutral, the yellow is seller's market, the orange is a strong seller's market. So if you could look, in 2018, we had more of a balanced market, a little bit of a seller's market, but then go into post-COVID. So look what happens when rates went really low. We went into a seller's market and then into a strong seller's market. And then it sort of tailed off back into a seller's market in 23, almost balanced out, back in, and now it sort of balanced out. So we're seeing it starting to balance out. Now, essentially what it means is this: a buyer's market means there's way more inventory than buyers. A seller market means there's way more buyers than inventory. And really, in Texas, in general, we've been in the seller's market since 2012, give or take. That's a macroeconomic chart nationally. But in Texas, especially in the metroplex areas, we've been in more of a seller's market, but we're definitely seeing it balanced out. So here's how that works. Number one, there's more inventory out there for you to choose from. And the existing sales are now competing with the home buyers or new home builders and new construction. So that means that because they're competing, the builders are offering really big incentives, but so are the sellers. So what happens is this: when a house gets listed, listings always come out on a Thursday night for a big weekend marketing event. There'll be an open house, it's blasted out on social media, and there's a big, grand opening, so to speak, of the new listing for that first weekend. And if the house is priced right and it's in the right location, it usually sells actually. But if it's in a house where there's multiple houses and it's not priced right, and sometimes it's a great house. I have a buyer right now that just bought an amazing house. It's under contract in Arlington. Nothing wrong with the house. In fact, in a stronger seller's market, he would have had to bid over to buy that house, but it slipped through the cracks and sat on the market about 80 days, and he was able to get it at a reduced price, and the seller paying $10,000 towards closing, which I was able to use to optimize his financing package to get him a really low interest rate. So what you want to do is, when you're looking to buy a house, you want to just know that the just listed, that's going to be like almost a seller's market for the first couple weekends where the seller has the advantage. But after you get by that first weekend, especially that second weekend, the advantage starts to shift as you as a buyer, and then you can start looking at getting a concession on price, or more importantly, getting the seller to pay closing costs. And what I mean specifically by that is, if you can get 2 or 3% from the seller, we can use that to significantly lower your interest rate, solving the number one problem that people have these days, and that's the problem of affordability. So the way to get started is starting with a mortgage plan. Build you a great mortgage plan that targets exactly what you want to buy, exactly tailored to your goals, and then having the options on how to play that market both on buyer side and seller side, depending on the house you find. If you'd like to do that, please feel comfortable reaching out. And if you're a real estate agent, you're watching this, please feel comfortable connecting me with your clients. I will build them an amazing mortgage plan. Thanks so much. Hope you all have a great day.